You know that feeling when you're busy all day, but you still go to bed feeling like you're a fraud? Your notes are messy, your brain is buzzing, and you're convinced that everybody else has it out except you. As a pre-med with ADHD, I lived there for years. It turns out the problem was not that I'm lazy, but it's that the productivity rules that I have been following were made for a completely different brain. In this video, I'll show you ADHD-friendly cheats that made me feel so productive that it feels illegal. Hi, my name is Alanud. It's great to be here with you today. So let's start with a medical diagnosis for your study habits. The traditional pre-med path was made for a certain type of brain, one that thrives on routine, delayed gratification, and linear progression. And that's not how an ADHD brain works. Neurotypical productivity advice usually is sit down, remove all distraction, and just get it done, or get it done till this time, or something like that. But for us, that advice doesn't really apply. It's actually kind of terrible because it ignores how our nervous system regulates interest and attention. So today we're going to focus on a topic called productive calm. Instead of forcing yourself into a high stress grind, which usually leads into burnout, we're going to look at how to hack your dopamine receptors legally. We're going to use the familiar framework, which is called the INCUP Method. It stands for interest, novelty, challenge, urgency, and passion. These are the things that are actually going to stimulate our ADHD brain. And when you learn to leverage these, you can absorb organic chemistry or anatomy in a way that feels effortless compared to how you have done it before or how you've done it the old way. So for me, before I understood my brain, I thought productivity meant discipline, which today I can tell you that's not what it meant. I thought it was just about buying the right planner or using the right app, and suddenly I'll be able to study for the MCAT in 6 hours or 6 hours a day in a quiet room. I thought that I was missing something, some app, some notebook, some planner that will give me what I need to be able to be disciplined and study. What I found, that rigid structure actually made my symptoms worse. It's what we call under-stimulation. When your brain is starving for dopamine and you're trying to force it to look at just black and white pages of text for hours, it's going to rebel. Like, that's gonna happen. So what does it do? It goes looking for something that gives us stimulation anywhere, just anywhere. And what is the closest thing we have? Our phone. This is what we call the wall of awful. You stare at that stack of Anki cards, or you stare at the task you have on a list. And it's not tasks anymore. It's a mountain. It's a mountain that you have to climb. And the more you try to climb it yourself and forcing yourself to do it, the more your brain is just not gonna want to do it because you don't have the neurotypical brain. You have a neurodivergent brain. Because as more you want to climb it, the bigger it gets. And that's okay. It makes sense why we struggle with this. The system wasn't built for us. So let's look at the prescription. How do we break the rules to make this work? We need to inject 5 specific elements into any study routine, our own study routine. So let's break down the INCUP method for the people that are not familiar with it. First of all, we have interest and novelty. These usually go together because they build on each other. So for example, another neurotypical popular advice is study at the same time, same place every day, because it keeps you consistent, because it builds a habit. But the problem is with your ADHD brain, that doesn't work because it makes it boring. It makes the task boring. You know what happens? It's the same. It's boring. And boring is painful. So we break the rules. If you're studying metabolic pathways, for example, don't just read the chapter. Try it out on a massive blackboard. I love blackboards. If you like whiteboards, you're wrong. Just draw it out with colorful colors or neon markers or whatever you have. Change your environment. Study at home one day. Study at the coffee shop. Study at the library. It doesn't matter. Just change the setup. Maybe it's all in your home, but you're studying in the kitchen one day, or in the living room the other, or in your bedroom, or in your bed. It doesn't matter. Just change your environment. I have always stuff, the gadgets and bits and bobs that that you can just fiddle with, like different markers, different fonts if you're writing on a laptop. They're kind of distractions, but they're not distractions as the sense we know them. This will just give you enough micro dopamine that will keep you engaged. Another way to do this is maybe eating something that is crunchy, that it gives you that sensation, just that micro dopamine that will keep you engaged. Next, we have challenge. A lot of us know that we love a good challenge, which I don't blame you. I love a good challenge. If something feels so easy or too slow, we just check out. If it's too hard, we shut down. We need the Goldilocks zone. We need that zone that is just hard enough that we want to do it, but not hard enough that we just shut down. You know what I mean? Make it a game. Instead of being like, I'm gonna study for 2 hours, be like, how many exams or practice questions I can go through in 30 minutes or in the next 15 minutes. Bet against yourself. Be like, I bet that I'm gonna get through 2 questions, and then you get through 3 dopamine. If you get through 1, you at least know what you can do in 15 minutes. Gamify your MCAT prep. Turn your next chore into a competition, and suddenly your brain wakes up because it's challenging. Third of all, then we have urgency. We all know the power of a deadline. We've all waited till the hour before and wrote the most amazing 10-page paper in an hour. We have done it because urgency provides dopamine. We already do this because we know it works for us. It works for our brain to give us enough willpower to power through something. But we can't wait till the night before for an exam, especially the MCAT. We can't do that. So we need to create artificial urgency. Use body doubling, study with a friend, or use a website or an app. Just knowing that somebody else is right there working alongside you creates a passive form of urgency because you know, like, somebody's there, I need to do this. That keeps you in your chair. It sounds simple, but it really does make the difference in the world. And then we have passion. You have to connect the boring tasks to the big, why are you studying? Why are you trying your hardest to do this? What is the reason? Why do you want to be a doctor? Ask that to yourself when you're stuck on a physics problem that feels irrelevant. Remind yourself, I need to understand pressure to manage a patient that is on a ventilator one day. Always connect it to the big picture. Connect the struggle to the dream. Now, let's talk about the strategy that feels the most illegal in the current hustle culture. And it's called de-stimulation. As a pre-med, you're constantly overwhelmed, constantly overstimulated with lecture, labs, homework, notebooks, papers, notifications, stress. And sometimes productivity is not about adding more to that. It's about freeing up time and doing less. Try this. Turn your phone into grayscale. Put on noise cancelling headphones with just brown noise. Nothing else. Just nothing. No music, no nothing. Just static. When you lower your sensory input from the world, you're freeing up processing power to be able to actually focus on studying. It's the same thing of like deleting apps to free up storage or closing tabs to free up some RAM so you can actually do other stuff. It's not about grinding harder. It's about protecting your energy so you can actually direct it to what matters. This brings us to the idea of productive calm. Last but not least, we have the do it badly rule. Perfectionism can completely derail us. We think if we don't have the perfect notes or the perfect setup, we should not start. We should just not start. So give yourself permission to do it badly. Read the chapter poorly. Do your Anki cards poorly. Do the practice exam and get a 0. Just starting, even imperfectly, breaks that paralysis cycle. It's better to have a messy study session than to have a perfect one that never happened. So hopefully you can use these strategies, put them into practice, and make a change. Make a difference in your journey and in the world. It's not always about being perfect. You will fail sometimes. I fail all the time. It's a struggle. And we're always going to struggle. But when you persevere and you don't blame yourself, when you work with your brain and not against it, it will make all the difference in the world. It can really make a huge impact. Thank you for listening to my talk today. I hope you really enjoyed it. You can watch my last video talking more about de-stimulation and how to train your attention span. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, share, of course, and see you next time. Bye-bye!